Surprisingly, this duende story is not from Mexico. However, the family did move from Mexico to the United States. We are not safe. So this guy says that growing up, he knew his mom was very spiritual, that she even took some kind of drink that made her look into her past life. And on the completely opposite end was his dad, who was a very big skeptic. He says his dad doesn't even like to talk about anything paranormal, like he will cut the conversation. He doesn't even want to be involved in anything. So one day he says that his mom's sister, so his aunt, came to their house and gifted his mom a duende. The duende was like a tiny figurine. He said that it was smiling and he had really dark green clothes on. The duende had a little pointy hat on, and he remembers when his mom came up to him and his sister and told them that they needed to treat the duende as if it was another person in their family. He recalls that in that moment when the mom said that, they started laughing because they thought that she was joking. Nevertheless, they did agree to the mom that they were going to treat the duende like he was part of the family. But he says that in the beginning everything was fine. They had placed the duende like on the bar of the kitchen and everything was normal. However, he says that little by little, and it's gonna sound crazy, but strange things started happening in their house. There was one day where he was taking care of his sisters. So he has one sister that was close to his age and another sister that was 5 years old, and she was the youngest. So again, he's taking care of his two sisters, and he noticed that the youngest, the 5-year-old, had gone to the restroom, but it had already been an hour and she hadn't came back. So he gets up, he goes to the restroom door, and right before he's about to start knocking on the door to see what's going on because he was worried, he hears his 5-year-old sister laughing like crazy inside of the restroom. He still knocks and he's like, hey, is everything okay? When he knocked on the door, he said that the laughter just stopped immediately, and he asked his sister, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, it's because it makes me laugh so much. Of course, he was like, who's making you laugh so much? And the little sister responds, my new friend. He explains that she answers like if it was normal, like it was nothing to her, but when he heard that, he got like the chills and he was kind of scared. He asked her to open the door, and when she did, she just came out of the restroom running past them and laughing, and when he checked into the restroom, there was nothing in there. After his mom got home that night, he did explain to her everything that happened in the restroom, and that the mom reassured him that she was going to take care of it and look into it and see what happened. He honestly thought that everything was going to end there because now his mom knew she was going to take care of it, but unfortunately that is not what happened. After that, he says little things started happening. He would lose something and then would find it in a completely different room where he knows that nobody would have put it. His keys, his wallet, like things like that would appear elsewhere. Like he knows that no one had touched it, but they would appear in random places of the house. At first, they all just gave the excuse that maybe we're tired, maybe we're misplacing it, but it happened so much that they couldn't use that excuse anymore. His younger sister, the one that is between him and the 5-year-old, stopped sleeping by herself. She said that she felt like somebody was constantly watching her. And on the completely different end, the little 5, sorry, I just heard it in Spanish and now I'm translating and I'm scared, okay? So on the opposite end was the 5-year-old who they were now catching her talk by herself, and then she would say random things to them like, my friend says that they don't like you. Okay, well, tell your friend it's on site. Tell your friend it's on site. There was one night where he woke up because he had the weirdest feeling like something wasn't right, and he was reaching for his glasses that he had put next to his nightstand, and when he grabbed them, they were literally broken in half, like if somebody had intentionally just broken them apart. That's also the moment where he was like, this is it, I've had enough. Like, he went to his mom and he's like, this duende is doing these things to us, and the mom had to accept that she did feel like it was the duende as well. That same night, the mom put the little duende figurine in a wooden box with salt and holy water, and then she said some like prayers that the lady had told her that she needed to say to the duende. They ended up putting that wooden box with everything into a closet, but unfortunately he says that it got worse. That same week when they put the duende into that closet, when they were all in the living room, they would hear like kid footsteps in the hallway. They would hear where like dishes would fall and break, and sometimes where the doors would slam by themselves. There's also one night where mom, dad, and the 3 kids were all watching a movie in the living room, and they clearly heard where somebody just like ran behind them and into the darkened hallway. The 5-year-old wasn't talking to her friend anymore, and she was having nightmares, and where everyone would hear her screaming, please don't take me, please don't take me, I don't want to go with you. There was one particular night where everybody was asleep and everyone heard the dad screaming. They all got up, ran to the parents' bedroom, and the dad was saying that something was whispering in his ear. He says that it was the first time that the dad had ever even accepted that something strange was happening and that something was going really bad, because again, he was a skeptic and he didn't believe in any of this. After this, the mom was telling her neighbor everything that was happening, that she didn't know what to do, and that's when the neighbor said that she knew how to get rid of that duende, but it was gonna be like a permanent, like, get away from us type of thing. They had to bury the little figurine away from their home into the dirt, and that they had to respectfully say goodbye to the duende. They did end up doing the ritual, but they were still scared because they didn't know if it was gonna get even worse or if it was actually gonna go away. He said after that everything did calm down. They did end up moving into another house, and he says that that same night the weirdest sensation that he was very familiar with came back to him, where he woke up in the middle of the night and he knew that something was not okay. When he gets up, he says that he from far away could hear like laughter of a child, and almost like if that laughter was making fun of him. However, the laughter went from being far away to then sounding like it was coming from underneath his bed. The next day when they were in the garden, he said that he noticed that little 5-year-old looking at a corner of that garden, and she was staring at that corner for a good minute until she went up to him and said, "There's some people calling me from there." He's unsure if they actually got rid of the duende or if the duende followed them to the new house. And that is the end of the story, because this is happening in real time right now, and basically there's nothing else to add at the moment until something hopefully not happens. But what do you guys think? They didn't even tell us what part of the US. It could be our neighbor. What the hell? I'm not scared. Everything's fine.